A pleasant good morning to everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Coles Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Coles Brown, joined by the panel, Coach Van Pettaway,
Morning.
AD Willa Brown. Good morning, sir. Good
Good morning.
afternoon to you, Willa. Wait a minute. It's afternoon there, Willa, right?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Just want to make sure. My timing is still trying to get back, recovering from the trip to Birmingham, in and out like a flash. Charles Edmond, good morning to you, sir.
I can't. Good morning. I can read your lips. I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. I can't hear you. I can hear Wheeler. I can hear Coach Pettaway. So I might have to log back out.
All righty. Well, you log out, then log back in. But here's what's trending. Here's what's trending on the Coles Brown Show. SWAC football picks are in via SWAC Football Media Day. We'll talk about that. Very interesting. And with these picks, Coach Pettaway and Wheeler, it's for conversation piece. It gets everybody to disagree, agree, debate, argue, cuss, fuss. Hopefully not too much cussing, but that's what it's supposed to do. In other words, it's a conversation piece.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take a look at that. Southern University has a new bowling coach. We'll talk about that. That was surprising, but then not surprising. Also, Southern and LSU in football coming up next year, week 2, round 2. Southern makes a trip across town. All I'm going to ask is, I wonder if the price went up. We know what the price was last time. You know me, Willa. The lack of money is the root of all evil. So
And I think it'll be a sellout. They
probably was going to be that regardless, Coach. They always sell out, don't they?
They want that band. They want that band. They want that jukebox.
And if I remember correctly last time, some people never made it to the game. It was that much traffic. Yep. One of my coworkers, who's an LSU graduate, was basically saying, if you didn't know better, you would thought it was LSU in Alabama. That it was that type of crowd. But I guess it was historic in nature. But you know what? From the comforts of my living room is where I got a chance to see it. That is a tough sell, Coach Pettaway.
Right. But see, when you see some of the comments from the LSU fans and stuff, man, they were just mesmerized by the band. And see, we can put football out there, but there's a group of people that want to see the band. So that brings in people, and they really enjoy it. All you got to do is see some of those comments.
And the tailgating was just off the chain. You had everything from duck to alligator in a roux, in gravy.
Wow.
You know, that's something about Louisiana. They'll put anything in the gravy. I'm telling you. But it was historic the first time, and they'll get it going again. Then also, and this caught me by surprise, Coach Conyers, the long-term tennis coach at Southern University, he retired, and he's taking a position within the athletic department. So Southern has a new women and men's tennis coach. And both with the bowling and tennis, it's former student athletes removed maybe 4 or 5 years from competitive competition. So, Willa, to your point, giving someone an opportunity to get things done.
And Willa, your own people. See,
that's important. That's important for the student athletes to see that.
Yeah.
There's some hope for them if they want to go into coaching, that sort of thing. We always talk about taking care of our own. Some people just being facetious about it, but I mean that's something that we should always look to do when possible.
Right.
Yeah. On that note, that's what's trending on the Coles Brown Show. I want to thank SWAC football staff, SWAC staff, conference staff, Dr. McClellan, got a chance to briefly talk with him. Andrew Robertson, everything was great as far as, greeting you and laying everything out in place. Man, got there that Tuesday, Coach, around 2:30 Central Time. 1:15, I was headed up I-59. It don't take me long. I was back in Baton Rouge about 7 p.m. So it was good to see everybody in person. It was good to see you, Coach Pettaway. As I was saying, I just have to get over Coach Pettaway. I don't know why I didn't think he was that tall. Or am I that short? But Coach Pettaway, you must be at least 6'2" or 6'1", something like that.
6'1".
Wow.
But I just want to echo what you said. I thought the SWAC did an outstanding job putting the media day together. They did make you feel welcome and wanted there. And man, there were a lot of people there, man. That I don't know if they got the actual numbers out, but to me, it seems like it was larger than it was last year. In terms of the media coverage is what I'm talking about. I think they have done a great job. Andrew Roberts does a great job, and then of course our commissioner, man, they got it going on right now.
Yeah, I always congratulate him on the great job that they're doing. But once again, it was good to see everybody. Everybody from the Black College Sports Network, Roy, AD, Dr. Cavill, Charles Bishop, all of those, Kevin, Brian Fulford, Kevin Corner, everybody. It was just good. That's the part I like the most about the fellowship.
Yep.
Getting a chance to see them, because a lot of times you only see them once a year. Mo Carter, everybody, and it's business, and a lot of people think it's a lot. Boy, I guess you have a whole lot of fun, but it's work.
It's work.
It's work, man, and you're in and out of there. And so, with that being said, we're waiting for Charles to get back in. The picks. Let me pull them up, and that was the conversation starter. In the Eastern Division, Alabama State was picked to win it. So there we go. I'm sure Charles Evan is happy about that, because he picked Alabama State, but let it be known he changed it twice. It's Jackson State second, Bethune-Cookman third, FAMU fourth, Alabama A&M fifth, Mississippi Valley sixth. Now, on my two early picks, the only thing with this one, I would switch Bethune and FAMU. I would have FAMU third, and I had Jackson State, of course, number one. Got a chance to listen to Coach Taylor on the Black College Sports Network interview. You just got to love Coach Taylor. He's just smooth. He doesn't get too high. He talked about Lockett, the team that they have potentially this year is better than last year's. So most people, prognosticators, got it coming down to Alabama State, Jackson State in that game, right? But I like to say this. You could compare and contrast. Let's compare at the end of the season to the prognosticators, the way they picked it. Now, in the Western Division, well, let me go back. Coach Pettaway, Will, you have anything that you want to add to the East?
Well, all I want to do is say at the beginning of the show, you said that the predictions is out there for people to scrutinize and do what they want. You use it as motivation. I mean, you take Alabama A&M. That should be great motivation for Coach Shades and the Bulldogs. These people picking you fifth in a 16 region. That's motivation. Use it to motivate yourself to play better and prove the people wrong. That's what this is all about. That's what the preseason polls are about, because the end results are going to come from the field, what you do on the field. Yep.
If I'm Alabama State, I would rather have been picked 2. And if I'm Jackson State, I like right where I am. I think it probably just took a whole lot of pressure off TC, if only for a minute. Yeah, because we all know that the season is going to play out like it's going to play out. But, I just think it just really put the heat on Alabama State now to seal the deal. And I still don't know if they can, Carlos. I ain't no Bama State hater, but, until they show me otherwise, I got to call it like I see it.
Well, Wheeler, it's been known you have the critical eye on Alabama State. and the interesting thing, panel, I talked to Eddie Robinson briefly. He was getting some sweet tea, and I was getting some lemonade. And I told him, every time we see each other, you let me know that you're a Louisiana native. I said, be easy in the first game. Good luck. He was like, we got to win. He said, we got to win. But most of the coaches reading the room, they don't want all of the, put it this way, to your point, Wheeler, they didn't want to be picked number one. Most of the coaches, except for Coach Jackson Prairie View, it doesn't bother him. I talked to Alcorn's coach, and I said, well, Charles Epman had y'all coming out the West. He said, no, I'm glad we're right where we need to be, number 3. And we'll get to that one. But reading the room, the coaches are more concerned about, preparing and getting their team ready. They don't want the kiss of death. And I'm going to throw out my first little nugget. Will it be year number 4? The last 3 Western Division coaches in their first year won the division. Will it be year number 4? And then the following year, 2 of the 3 didn't make it back for year 3. That could be the kiss of death.
Yeah.
So Coach Jackson, no, you're not on the clock. But he's very confident. Another coach that's very confident, and we actually had a nice little exchange, Coach Graham, for FAMU. I was like, look at this guy here. Coach Jackson, number 2. Boy, he's overly confident, boy. He's really confident. But coaches, they're human beings. Like everybody else, they have personalities. But
now, Carlos, the SWAG award has to go to Jackson State. When they walked in, I don't know if it was planned now, but they let everybody else get in place, right? And then they came in with their entourage. Man, let me tell you something. Now, for me as a coach, that's how I want my team and players to feel. You got to walk with confidence. You got to be confident about you have put the work in and you're supposed to be on top. And that's the way that's the way they walked in. Because I was right there at the door talking to somebody else. And I turned my doggone head and here they come.
You knew it.
I'm serious. I was very impressed with that. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it was planned that way, but let me tell you something. It definitely worked. Definitely worked.
And Lockhart, man, he must be 6'5". I know TC Taylor's tall, but man, and whoever the other young man was with him, tall and lean. You look, Stevie Wonder could tell the Jackson State players coming in. I'm telling you, I could tell. Man, they don't have to brag. It's just like you said, the way they walked in. Charles, what did you get from the Eastern Division? Alabama State, you picked them.
Yeah, I mean, this time last week we got the player the preseason player awards, and I was wondering, does that mean with Andrew Body being the preseason offensive player of the year, does that mean Alabama State's going to be picked to win the East? Well, we got our answer. I'm not surprised at this at all. I think the impression that Andrew Body made on the conference last year, him coming back. I mean, if you look at the votes, it was a 9-vote difference between 131 to 122. And so I think that for me, I'm not surprised at all at Alabama State. I also think that just talking with the coaches around the league at Media Day, I mean, Tremaine Jackson trying to downplay it, incomplete mission, the confetti fell the wrong way, all that stuff. I get that, and so I get where he's coming from. But for me, the coach on the Eastern side that really I think that we all need to pay attention to, and he was at All Corners quarterback coach for a couple of years, was Quinn Gray. I know you had an exchange with him, Carlos, but I didn't see Quinn Gray smile the whole time at Media Day. I saw him walking around the room. He looked very serious. And, despite whatever that's going on there, he feels like that his team can get it done despite the obstacles. And I like Quinn Gray's approach. So that was impressive to me on the Eastern side. Terrell Buckley, the coach at Mississippi Valley, he said, I'm sick and tired of hearing Valley gonna play you tough. Valley, you gonna be in a dogfight. He said, doggone, when we gonna win some of these doggone things? So he's tired of hearing the woulda, coulda, shouldas. He's got to put some wins on the board. So from the Eastern Division side of it, I was wondering where Alabama A&M was going to be picked. I thought maybe Brown coming back, and Coach Pettaway reported, he's our insider, that Brown is healthy, and I thought that would make a difference. But Bethune-Cookman's the team I think we need to look out for in the Eastern Division. They're one of the top offensive teams, one of the hottest teams to end last season, along with Alcorn. And I think Bethune-Cookman could have somewhat of a say in this.
Big question for me, Bethune-Cookman defensively, how much will they improve or can they improve? That's a big question mark for me. Because, look, that's a lot of pressure, Coach Pettaway.
Oh, yeah.
You score 40 points a game and you give up 38. That means you're in a dogfight. It could go either way. Alabama State and Jackson State. Dark Horse, Bethune-Cookman. Yeah. That's because the coach would have had a modest confidence with the smile. Yeah, to me, he always has the same facial expression. To me, quiet, laid back.
And that could be a good thing, Carlos, because when you bring all the smoke, you expect it to get the smoke, but he doesn't bring that, and so that could play in his favor. Actually, they could be laying in the bushes waiting to get you if you're not careful. So I think, look, Bethune's got some big games. They got Alabama State at home, so they have an opportunity to make some noise, at least move up in that Eastern Division.
But you know what? I think the kids that Gray brought from Albany State aren't the same kind of kids that Jackson brought from Valdosta. So let's not get that part mixed up or twisted up either.
What do you mean by that, Wheeler? What do you mean?
I'm talking about talent-wise.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Even though they both Division II, they're both Division II schools,
there's a big difference.
Valdosta is closer to being a D1 FCS school than they are to being a D2 school.
Correct.
And the talent that they have gotten historically shows accordingly. So let's not get that part mixed up as we are evaluating both coaches, because I know Quinn probably brought in a lot of kids from
his quarterback Knowles, his quarterback from Albany, who had a really solid tenure there. And I think that helps too when your quarterback comes with you. That quarterback knows you personality-wise, scheme, and I think that could help make the transition offensively a little bit more seamless than if you're just bringing in a guy that you don't necessarily know off tape. So I thought that was a huge move. Knowles moving from Albany to Florida A&M. We'll see what kind of scheme they run, but I thought that was a good pickup there.
And I was reading the room, and for some reason I always get into interesting debates with quarterbacks, because one guy came up to me and said, I heard you say you don't need a Superman at quarterback. You just need one to be efficient and run the offense. I said, do you agree? He said, yeah. Okay, well, in the discussion. But you know, I get it. They get the limelight. You know, they are who fans kind of talk about the most. The player that gets the most scrutiny. Congratulations. He's kind of like the coach on the field, next to the coach, equivalent to a point guard, Coach Pettaway, in basketball. But again, having those different conversations, I just need somebody to be efficient, run the offense, ball security, have all those that make good decisions, Coach.
Yeah.
Obi Trotter was a point guard for you, right? Or he was a combo?
Yeah. No, he's a point guard.
And
he's a great decision maker. Made great decision maker. He made the difference. And then when he had to make plays, he made plays. You know, when your offense break down, you got to have somebody make some plays. And he could make plays. And you got to have the same thing in football. You know, you can call a play, but if they see something different, they got to still be able to make a play. And that's what these coaches are looking for in these QBs. Don't turn that ball over. You protect the football, but at the same time, you got to be able to make plays to help your team. And
do you have the flexibility, if you see something, to be able to change the play or get them into a better situation?
Yeah,
Now, that leads me to this. And I know here comes Wheeler. Some things when you at media day, some things you don't know. I didn't know, and I stand the right side Coach Falk when he said there's 7 quarterbacks on the roster. So I had to go and look at the roster. My goodness, 7 quarterbacks. Everybody's not going to play. Out of those 7, you probably thinking about 2 that could play. The starter, he gets banged up, has an off game or off quarter, then the backup. But Wheeler, 7 quarterbacks on the roster, that is a lot.
That's rough. Ooh, I mean, you can't give all them guys work. So I'm sure, they probably already have in mind, the 2 or 3 that they're really taking seriously in terms of the possibility of being a starter. But you can't give all those guys work, during that short period of time.
What does that tell you?
Position change? Can you say position
you don't
change?
have one. That's what they say when you.
Hey, good point, Coach Pettaway. Because I had nothing official, but I heard the redshirt freshman. His name escapes me. I heard that it'll be some position changes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that is. That's all that is. Because number one, mentally, most QBs they got it between the ears, and they're pretty good athletes. So you can change positions. Yeah.
Don't be a hero. I think that's what I've heard the last couple of years from the quarterback play. Carlos, even with Southern a couple of years back, just having a good running game. Don't be a hero. There will be times in which you have to make a play. But if you've got a good running game, if your offensive line is solid, you got receivers that can go get it, you don't necessarily have to win it by yourself. And so I think we'll see the ones that haven't named their quarterbacks. You're still trying to figure it out at this point. I don't have a problem with a coach not knowing who their quarterback's going to be. Here it is, July 18th. I don't have a problem with them not knowing, because when you make that decision, you got to stand on it. And so if it's too early, like Marshall Faulk and others, if it's too early, that's fine. We'll know in due time who that quarterback's going to be game 1.
And then the onus is on the coaches not to put the kids in a position to where they got to play Superman.
Right.
A lot of times, we overthink this thing, in terms of not being simple enough, in terms of getting after folk. And so, sometimes coaches are a little too smart for themselves. And so they can't be allowed to put the kids in that position where they got to make a fantastic play all the time.
Yeah.
Make the average play. Make it 3rd down and 8. Stand in that pocket and make the throw. Now, also something else I heard Coach Falk, and I was standing right by him when he said it. It's not going to take all of camp to get a start in the quarterback. He's going to do it early in camp. My prediction, and what he said. Basically, it won't be the week of. It won't be the week before week 0. It'll be early on. So let the competition begin. And then he also talked about running a 2-back system. Running backs. I know they asked about the go-go offense. He said he wanted to do something a little different when he got into college. And in the NFL, remember, I think Charles said the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
You know, just something different. And let me say this. He has gotten, and I'm going to say this is just me. He's gotten a bad rep. I sit and observed him, Coach Bettaway, throughout the room. He's polished. I mean, he was on the NFL Network. He got a bad rep from some of the fans. I'm gonna tell you. I just observed how he reacted with the media. Now, I think G. Boone said I was the only one that got a hold of him. No, I saw him going to the different spots throughout the media day. Oh man, like I said, I observed him. I observed him closely.
I think, Carlos, some of the negativity comes from some of the fringe stuff, not wearing enough Columbia blue and all that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I get it. I understand, but this is just from the fandom. It's not me saying this, but this is just on the and also the fact that, I mean, look, season's getting ready to start, but people are just wondering, can Marshall Faulk do this? So when you have that, all that other crazy stuff does get put on the table, whether we like it, whether we agree with it or not. Now, if he wins that first game against Alabama State, all that gets thrown out the window. He goes to Birmingham and pulls that off, then I think it's a whole different conversation.
Well, it's going to be some question marks until the W's start to ring in.
Right.
You know, it's going to be those boo haters and all that sort of thing. And, you know, but don't worry, you win a couple, they come on over to the other side and ride you out from there until you lose a couple.
But you know what, Will, what I don't want to see? I don't want to see, because of that first game, if Southern was to lose that game, the people, you know, the boo birds come out. You don't need that, man. It's the first game. And at most time, and I'm gonna tell you something. Had I been helping with that schedule, he wouldn't have opened with Alabama State now.
No.
His first game as a collegiate head coach would not have been against Alabama State. No. I wouldn't. That's me now. I don't have any. I'm just saying I would have eased him into a schedule.
I don't think I would have done that either. I really don't.
I think Bama State may have been second or third.
I really don't.
It wouldn't be the first
game, first time head coach, that sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know. I would have tried to taken I ain't gonna say an easier path, or more of a path of less resistance.
Right.
So we can go on out here and get my feet wet.
And really, I probably would have wanted my first time head coach to play his first game at home. I'd have been trying my best to get him a home game. So that he can get all the kinks worked out. He's getting ready. Now, this is what they need to look at now. They have picked Southern fifth in the West, right? He's going up against the number one team that the prognosticators think is going to win the East. That is not good. So what I'm saying, Carlos,
I wouldn't have it no other way.
That's go with it. Roll with it.
Look, Coach Bettaway, we coming out with Knuckle City right off the bat. See where you stand at.
That is just the type of game that Southern University could come out there and win. A game like that, us against the world. Who's picked other than the Jaguar Nation? Who's picking Southern in that game? Nobody. Not a whole lot of people. That's just the type of game that Southern, us against the world, can go and win. And look,
I can tell you that part, Charles, ain't gonna make no difference. At the end of the day, is who get punched in the face and who punches back the hardest. And that's going to be it. All that other byline stuff is good. That's well and good. And it's good for the papers and it's good for the fans and all that sort of thing. At the end of the day, who gets smashed in the mouth and who gets back up strong and look to smash somebody else in the mouth. And that's what it's going to be about.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the potential like Southern and Jackson State. Throw Rutgers out. It's going to be a haymaker. With that being said, let's put up the West and then we'll get a does that game count as a SWAC conference game? No, it doesn't.
Does not.
It counts in the overall standing. And then I wonder what's going to be the game next year, Birmingham Classic. Nobody would tell me that it was going to be a annual thing, but I'm thinking it's going to be an annual.
Yeah. I think I've read it somewhere. It's supposed to be an annual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be, Coach Pettaway, you think, an Alabama team in that every year? Or do you think they'll kind of rotate it around?
No. I don't think it'll be an Alabama team every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think they want to spread it around. I would think they want to spread it around probably. But it's good that they're showing Birmingham some love.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, that's where the offices are and all that sort of thing. And, you know, I think it's good that they are highlighting where they're from, period.
Right.
In terms of
Hornet Nation's going to come out. I know Alabama State people. Willa, they coming. The Hornet Nation is going to show up. And then I think Southern will show everybody that when it comes to following their team, that they're still in charge. So I think the Southern fans, I think they're going to have a nice game. Would have even been better had them not been playing on the same weekend, because a lot of our fans would support Alabama State against Southern because it's an in-state school.
Well, and you know that game is a 2:00 game because later that day you got Alabama A&M and Howard.
And Howard, right.
So boy, 2:00. Ooh, boy, it's gonna be toasted. It's gonna be tough because it was either that. You can't go too much later, right? You couldn't do a 4:00 game or a 3:00 game, which still would be hot. The only way you could do is go up to 12, even hotter. The hottest part of the day, at least in Baton Rouge, is 2 to 5 every day. And by the way, 115 heat index today here. I'm not going outside. Man, it's brutal. We got a heat advisory.
Wait, no, Carlos, I bowl with a guy that's an Ole Miss grad, and last year, year before, they had a 2:00 game in Oxford, and man, they let the athletic director have it. They said, never that again, playing a game at 2:00 in the afternoon, you know, at Vaught Hemingway when it's 110 heat index. Those folks didn't like it too much. So I think everybody understands in September and August it's tough when you're playing these afternoon games.
Well, the thing about it, the sun is going to be out for both teams. It won't go the sun won't go behind the clouds when Alabama State has the ball. It's going to be hot for everybody. You will find out who's in the best condition. And I kind of suspect that this game might be one of those old slobber knockers. It's going to be tough. And but anyway, let's see if we can put the Western Division up, right? If not, we can put it up. There we go. No surprise there. Prairie View A&M, 130 points. Here's the first shock of Grambling State, number 2. Come on. Are you kidding me? Number 3, Alcorn State. Number 4, Texas Southern. 5th, Southern University. 6th, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Someone asked me, has that been the lowest that in a preseason pick for Southern University? Yeah, beats it by 1. Coach Gray's first year, pick 4 if they won it.
Yeah.
But Prairie View, the defending champions, they are the hunted. Although Coach Jackson says, look, last year was last year. We don't even worry about that. We still coming out, and he used the term, they're going to lay hands on people. Now, with that being said, they may be a better team, but boy, have you seen their opening 3-4 weeks? Tough, and he loves it that way.
Wants it no other way.
Put one in the corner for Coach Jackson. He don't want to start off with a cupcake.
No.
He wants to come out and play Tarleton State. They got Baylor, Stephen F. Austin. I think that game with Stephen F. Austin gonna be the make it or break it in a way. Because they got that game at home. I think that's a winnable game. Baylor, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Of course, the Labor Day Classic with Texas Southern. They can start off the season with a conference win. And that's what they want to look at. But Texas Southern, and by the way, still up in the air. I talked to Ryan McGinty, the Sports Information Department. He shrugged his shoulders. They're supposed to be moving the Southern and Texas Southern game to a new venue. I heard NRG Stadium. Then he says he doesn't know. Call it about a week or so. Okay. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. Let's hope they get it figured out.
Well, we know the game going to be
kind of late in the game to be trying to figure it out now.
Well, I mean, they have to have a place to play. I've read all this back and forth with that, and it's unfortunate. The way I look at stuff like that now, I'm not going to beat anybody upside the head over that. Let's just hope they get it figured out. Whatever it is, NRG, wherever it is, I hope they get it figured out, and I know they will.
Second big point of the show. True or false? Southern will finish 5th. False.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to do better than 5th place. Trust me.
Yeah, I agree.
I had them in the middle of the pack, I thought.
Yeah, I think I did too. Yeah, I did not. I know I didn't have them 5th. They're not 5th. I think I had them 3rd. I don't see Southern being a 5th place team in the East.
I'm not surprised. I kind of said this 6 months ago when we were talking about predictions with football. I said, don't be surprised if Southern perhaps is going to be picked down in the Western Division standings. I would not, and 5th, some people I talked to believe 6th. I'm probably not going to go that far. I think Trey Holly's probably the difference maker, and I still believe he's going to win you 2 or 3 games. That running game, Carlos has talked about that running back room. I think that's going to win you some games. But, you're taking over a team that won. I hate to say it because I'm a SWAC fan too. You know what Southern did last year. You walk into a situation, a 2-win team, got to build that thing. You have to prove it first. And I think that's what probably the voters are saying. Right now, what I'm seeing at this point in time, a 5th place team. Now, Southern could surprise everybody like Graves did, like Dooley did, and win the West their first year. But I think what the voters are seeing is what they saw last year. We can debate that, but I think that's probably why Southern's picked there. Alcorn Grambling. How about Grambling picked 2nd? That was kind of a surprise to me. And of course, news just broke a few days ago that the offensive coordinator is leaving. And Mickey Joseph told me, and I interviewed him, he said, due to family reasons, and Mickey Joseph understands, due to family reasons, he has to go back with his family. So I don't know if, the street committee says Bruce Eugene will be coming. I don't know. We'll see. But, clearly that could be interesting there in terms of, the offense and the quarterback, because that was an issue for Grambling last year. But for them to be picked to finish 2nd, that was an interesting one to me.
Very interesting, because now if you lose your offensive coordinator right before the season starts, and then, I'm trying to be objective here, but, Charles, I like to talk to those people who said 6th place. I'd really like to examine their heads. I really would. Sometimes emotion, I get it, gets the best of you, but then a 2 and 10 team. Look at that, I can't even get it out right. 2 and 10. They defeated the projected number 2 team last year in the Bayou Classic. A lot of it is just based on what happened last year.
Right.
That's it. It's the known versus the unknown, Carlos.
Right.
You know, because nobody knows, you know, what you guys have, that sort of thing. You know, there's more of a tendency to kind of downgrade you guys. You know, whereas, you know, Mickey Joseph was at Grindman last year, that sort of thing, and I don't know how they finished up, but you know, you probably see more promise on the outside from their direction as opposed to, you know, Southern's direction. But I think I had Grambling like maybe fourth or fifth in my predictions. I'm not a big quote unquote Mickey Joseph fan, I guess you want to call it, but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
If Southern University, instead of going 2-10, if they were 5-7, I don't think they would be picked to finish fifth, even with a new coach. Let's just say they make a change even after 5-7. I don't think Southern would have been picked to finish fifth. I think they probably would have moved up on the total poll there. So to your point, and just my opinion again, 2-10 is the reason why they're projected to be picked fifth. That's the only reason why. Among the major reason why. There may be some other factors in there too, but new coach, new scheme, new system, new way of doing business, coming off of 2-10. I think that's the reason.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put too much stock in there. Throughout the room, it was 2-10, never again. It was somebody. It was somebody with a black hat with an unk on there, but I was trying to find out who it was. 2-10, never again. But I've talked to some people but they actually kind of like where they at. Low expectations, Coach Pettaway. Yep. Nobody's talking about it. Let all of the glory be on Prairie View and Jackson State. Although Jackson State earns every bit they get to me. Until they're the throne, they still a tough out to me.
Oh yes.
Alabama State, Bum Phillips said we have to do it. We got to kick it in. If they don't kick it in, and that was another thing through the media day. If not this year, when? They got to kick the door in, Coach Pettaway.
Oh yeah.
I
got a chance to talk to Coach Robinson. I got a chance to talk to Coach Robinson because we spoke earlier at the Legends dinner, the roast that they had. And I reminded him, I said, you know, you're in state, and I wish you well, Coach, until the 4th Saturday in October.
There you go.
I say it's time for Coach Shade to break that winning streak. So I thought he did a lot. I thought a lot of people was in demand at media day, and Coach Robinson, he handles himself well. I was proud of all the coaches, man. They do a good job. They do a good job.
Yeah. I would agree, but it's over until next year. You look at some coaches there. Some you see this year, you won't see next year. The last 3 or 4 years, it's always been that way. Yeah, there'll be a couple of empty chairs. Well, there'll be some new faces in those chairs.
Right.
Driving back to Baton Rouge, you kind of think of all those different things.
Yeah.
Who's not going to be there next year? 2 came to mind to me. I don't know if I should share that, but as I was driving down I-59, I said somebody's not going to be there next year.
I kind of know one of the two for sure.
Does he reside in Lorman, Mississippi?
Put it this way: 2 openings in the West. I'm gonna say 2 openings in the West.
2 openings in the West.
Yeah. It could be, unless they just go on a miracle run.
Yeah. Well, I think for Coach Hampton, I know it's been a struggle for him. This is 4th season. We were talking at media day, and you know he had a very pleasant attitude about things, and no one's talking. I don't think anybody talked about UAPB. You know, I referenced a couple of years ago when they had quarterback Higgins and Javonte Gibson, and I thought UAPB was on its way because I kind of felt that defensively their coach is a defensive-minded guy. They just needed some offense. And I thought with Higgins and Gibson a couple of years ago, they were on their way. But he said, yeah, but it didn't happen. And so we have to rebuild that offense. So if they rebuild their offense and they win a few more games, I think Coach Hampton might stick around. But, UAPB's not in the business of getting rid of coaches. I think Coach Hampton's doing the best that he can do. The question is it enough to continue there, based on the fact that each and every year it's kind of been a struggle to get out of the bottom.
Based off of what they're paying,
they should
budget
not fire anybody. Yep.
They should be glad he's there. When you're not, when you're not funding the program adequately enough, I don't think any of those quote unquote bottom dwellers, should be in any kind of position to lose their jobs, when administration is not funding them properly in terms of demanding that they're going to be in the upper tier of the conference. Yeah. It's just not feasible.
But how much of it Wheeler now? And I just, there was a post out there. Coach Hampton can find the players, but it's difficult to retain them. So I think that's another point too. As an athletic director and administration, when you're evaluating a coach, you're doing everything you can to bring in good players. You're training them, you're coaching them up, you're developing them. And then they get these offers from other places, $100,000 a year, $200,000, whatever it is, and they leave. Mm-hmm. And you're starting from scratch. How much empathy and sympathy, because you're rebuilding your roster pretty much every year in most cases. How much empathy, sympathy, and understanding is there from the administrative standpoint, knowing that this is the new landscape and the new reality?
I think it plays a part in the evaluative process, Charles. No doubt about that. And I don't think anybody in their right mind would punish a coach for something that's out of his control. And when a kid is leaving you to go get a bag somewhere else and you can't match that bag, then you can't blame the kid and you can't blame the coach. It's just something that's happened, and you would hope that, coach got a rabbit out of his butt or whatever, he can, bring in a replacement or bring in somebody else, that sort of thing. But in today's landscape, you can't penalize a coach because kids are, leaving and transferring because they're getting paid here or getting paid there, that sort of thing. Now, if they're leaving for other reasons, Charles, then there's some issues there.
Yeah. Well, I still point back to, and from the outside looking in, Coach McNair did a hell of a job.
Yes, he did.
And I don't think he had any better budget than they got now.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess he was an exception to the rule. He got it done. I just think from the outside looking in, it was some decisions that were made above the athletic department, along with the athletic department. Charles, from the outside looking in, I could never understand how that went down and how it went down. He did a great job. And
he was offered a contract, Carlos. I mean, Coach McNair was offered a contract. He had a contract offer on his table for a minute or two. He mulled over it, he dwelled over it, and made the ultimate decision to take a leap of faith and move on. There was a contract offer for him. And so,
what was that offer? Apparently it wasn't enough for him to consider.
Based on what he did, it should have been a damn good offer. Oh, that sounds like Will Wade there.
Should have been
a damn good offer. Yeah.
All I can tell you is that we can only offer what we can offer.
Okay.
And there's levels to this. And the unfortunate part is when he was winning, we had another president in place. And when the losing started, another president came into play. And so when you look at all of that, he was still off. Even though the COVID and all of that, we were never the same after COVID. He was still offered a contract, and he had a chance to keep some of the guarantee money from some of the guarantee games that we're going to play if he signed that contract. So there were some financial incentives in there. He just chose not, and again, I respect his decision. He just chose to take a leap of faith and see what's next.
And maybe it's about feelings also. You know, I mean, you can be offered something, but feel a certain kind of way. Yeah, about whether or not people are truly in your corner and all that sort of thing and stuff. And, you know, even on top of that, Charles, I think your fan base probably got too used to what McNair was bringing to the table and thought that, oh, hell, Joe Blow can do this, you know, or somebody else can do that.
Fandom.
Yeah, well, yeah. It is what have you done for me lately? We are in this society, even though McNair took us to a couple of Celebration Bowls, was a part of the 6 straight division titles, winning the East. The last few years were tough. We're brutal. We had some very tough, difficult losses. We lost to Texas Southern, you know, on a Sunday. It was tough. We had some tough losses. So,
and I can see that, Charles, from a fandom point of view, but from an administrative point of view, okay, our ADs and our presidents and those folk who are in control need to be able to look past that part and see the actual value of what a particular coach brings to the table. And I don't know that occurred. I'm not a fly on the wall or nothing like that, but, you know, I don't know that occurred. But it's up to our administrators to really get in depth and learn what these coaches actually bring to the table above and beyond, you know, the things that we see on Saturday, that sort of thing. And with McNair, you know, I ain't gonna say it should have broke the bank. I'm saying it should have made him feel that we want you around. And I don't know if that feeling really permeated with him. I don't know.
I mean, I just think that just based on what I know about the situation, and I found out a lot about it after the fact, and even a part during the whole process. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can pay with state dollars. Your foundation can supplement if that's what you choose to do. There was an offer on his table for a minute, and he ultimately, based on everything, he just chose to take another path. And I respect what the university tried to do. I also respect what McNair decided to do. It's not an easy decision. You know, McNair's Alcorn's own. His late brother, was one of the greatest players ever to put on a Brave uniform. So this was painful for our president, who was a former football player, by the way, who played with the late Steve McNair. So this was painful for him. But there's only so much. You know, based on everything, he put what he felt like was a really good offer. Some of the guarantee games, he could get some money off of that. So some of the escalators kind of would have worked in his favor if he chose to take it. But I think the pain that was suffered after COVID, previous leadership, and I think trying to maybe recoup some of that with the current leadership, that was kind of tough. And so Coach McNair ultimately had to make the decision. And he chose to move on. And yes, I mean, I've talked to people that, and I just threw it out there. You know, if Coach McNair could come back, would you take him back? A number of people told me no, they would not.
Ooh, wow.
They moved on. Wow. I'm just being brutally honest I can be. And I'm like, I said the same thing y'all just said. Wow.
Wow. For you biblical people, your own persecuted Jesus, and they'll persecute you again. Your own. Your own. Well,
so there was, you know, Carlos, if I may, I want to send out a shout out to your former coach, Coach Graves.
Yes, sir. You told me about that.
I saw where he's being inducted into the Winston-Salem Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that too.
That's my buddy, Coach. If you're listening, man, congratulations, man. You deserve it, buddy. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Winston-Salem State Rams.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
For going forward for Cedric Thomas is a big year. I think he knows it. Braves fans know it. And, being picked to finish third, I can see that. But we have an opportunity against Miles to start off and get off to a good start with Jalen Tolbert, who, he was at media day, looked really good, sounded good. He's ready to go. And so we'll see. But this is a big year for Braves football. I think our fans are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're used to being in that conversation. Hopefully we will be this upcoming season.
Well, it's almost the top of the hour break. And we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Southern and LSU, round 2. I'm hoping it's more than 750,000. That was the contract last time.
To go right across the street, Carlos. Come on. Come on.
Come on, Carlos.
Come on.
See, that's the difference. That's the difference between me and the panel.
Can jog down there, Carlos, and come on by.
Yep.
Bring the check with you. Ain't spending no money. Eat at home in the cafeteria. No problem.
Yep. Carlos, take us out, Charles.
Yeah, I tell you what, with Carlos is frozen up. I think he's in a state of shock for what. We'll take a break right here, folks. We'll get Carlos back. Second hour of the Carlos Brown Show.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a state, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image.
Ever told yourself, I want to get into real estate but don't know where to start? Here's something just for you. From Friday, July 31st to Sunday, August 2nd, the Learn Real Estate Fast Masterclass is coming to McKenzie Office Park in College Park. You'll learn wholesaling, commercial investing, and how to purchase property with zero money or credit. I can tell you, education and access are everything. This masterclass is designed to give you both. Whether you're brand new or ready to level up, this is where you start making real moves. Enjoy free lunch, free study materials, and receive a certification of completion. So don't wait. Seats are filling fast. Do not sit on the sidelines while others build wealth. Take that first step toward ownership and legacy. Get your tickets now at learnrealestatefast.com or tickpick.com. For more information, call 678-859-3303. Master the market, build your legacy, secure your future today.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Introducing the HBCU Trivia Game. It's more than a board game. It's a journey to the legacy of historically Black colleges and universities. Here's how it works. 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, start as freshmen and roll the dice to advance. But here's the twist. You can only move forward by answering trivia questions about HBCU. Test your knowledge of notable alumni, key historical events, sports milestones, and fun HBCU facts. Watch out for spaces that propel you ahead or set you back. And if you get a question wrong, you stay put until your next turn. The first to reach graduation wins. The HBCU Trivia Game. Support, educate, entertain. Available now. Let the journey begin.
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL on August 29th with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff presented by Toyota, representing the SWAC, Alabama A&M, and representing the MEAC, Howard, Bulldogs, Bison, the Marching Maroon and White, the Showtime Marching Band, the premier FCS matchup in primetime with a kickoff trophy up for grabs. Join us pre-game for band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Oh, we have apparently we're trying to get Carlos Brown back. So we welcome you back to the Carlos Brown Show, hour number 2, here on the Black College Sports Network. Glad you can join us. So we'll get Carlos Brown in here in a matter of moments. But we were talking about this. Carlos kind of referenced it, Southern and LSU. And I need to call my athletic director to see when if Alcourt is playing. Because I want to be at Tiger Stadium in front of 102,000 when Southern hits that field. I want to be there. But that this gets into another discussion. We've talked about it on this show many times about these guaranteed games when you're playing up. Last year, Grambling got $1 million for playing Ohio State. I think that just kind of fell in their lap. They were looking for an opponent, and Grambling got that $1 million check. I don't know what did Carlos say what the price tag was for that LSU game?
Well, I think they offered $650. He thinks he wants what, $750 or something like that.
Yeah,
that's why we were saying just go down the street. So it's a big thing. But when I saw the release by LSU that Southern was going to be on the schedule, I was real happy for them, man, because Charles, the last time Southern played over there, man, their fans talked about that game for 2 years, and it was all about the atmosphere. Yeah, and I think it was great. I had an opportunity to see some of the things that people filmed, and it was great, man. It was great.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. And Carlos and I have talked about LSU Southern on the football field for 20 years, if not longer. Like, I would love to see that matchup. It has happened once. It's going to happen again. But then we talk about the price tag, and I see some of the comments where, the price tag should be $1 million. That's probably not going to happen. What Grambling got, they were very fortunate. Connecticut pulled out of a game with Ohio State, and they needed an opponent, and they ponied up for having to get someone at a late juncture.
Mm-hmm.
Is it realistic for our schools to get that type of price? I mean, we've seen FBS versus FBS guarantees $2 million, $1.9 million. I've read it. I've seen it. Is it unrealistic for us to even talk about getting that type of payday based on FCS versus FBS?
I think it is. Go ahead, Coach Petaway. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry, Willie. Go ahead.
But I think it is unrealistic. Yeah, I mean, and especially even more so when you're not going far. You know, when you got a long way to travel and you got to bring the band with you and all that sort of thing and stuff, then, you know, you have to look from an administrative point of view at how much of that money I'm going to be able to bring home. You know, so I mean, $1 million might look good on the outside. If it's going to cost you $400,000, you know, in terms of transportation, hotel, meals, the whole 9 yards, plus the band, you know, then, you know, you're really only bringing like maybe 60% home. Is that enough? You know, so you have to ask yourself that question. Is it enough in terms of your kids getting beat up also? You know, so, you know, now I got to look at two things, you know, but if I can bring home 75% of the guarantee, Charles, then I consider that a good, you know, a good payout, you know, and then we can just go ahead on and get ready for the next game after that.
Right. But Will, I'm going to tell you something that we got to be conscious of now. If they pass this legislation that they're talking about passing, we're not going to be able to play them anymore.
No, you're not.
Because they're going to penalize the FBS for playing the FCS. And when they start talking about putting playoff spots on the line, they're going to have to drop us.
They ain't playing you.
We better take advantage of it while we can.
You sure better. You sure better.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed in the last year or so, and you know, Alcorn played Mississippi State last year, and we know what happened in that game. And our fans were just saying, you know what, we need to be done with the FBS altogether. I don't care how low the FBS is, of the level it is in terms of the team. I just don't want to see us playing an FBS team, period. 85 versus 63, 85 scholarships versus 63 scholarships. We don't need to play any FBS team. And I talked with our athletic director, Dwayne Robinson, at Media Day about that. And basically, he said, and I think I text you guys this, if we sold out of our season ticket allotment, then our tickets, you would have to think maybe twice of doing some of that. Like we're playing USM this year. We got Ole Miss coming up. And by the way, I think G. Boone made a point how Prairie View got another $50,000 more the second time they played Texas A&M. I was told that we got another $50,000 for the Ole Miss guarantee than what was originally negotiated. So we're getting $50,000 more. And then we're playing TCU coming up here in a few years. But when you look at just playing these games, and if you make your money with season ticket sales, does that, Wheeler Brown, take away the need for not playing an FBS team at all, or just maybe being a little bit more selective in terms?
I don't think it does at all. You know, the more money you bringing in, Charles, the more money you spending. Yeah, so I mean, you're already in the red, so everything that you're bringing in is just going to help you cut into that red a little more. Yeah, my thing is that, you know, a lot of our schools are scheduling past 2030 in terms of these FBS games. I don't think those games are going to be around at that time.
No.
You know, I'm with Coach Petaway on that. So now, you know, if there's a guarantee involved, I need to make sure that there's a buyout of some sort involved with that. That's number one. You know, but number two, I'm not just going to do what somebody else did not too long ago in terms of, you know, y'all just go your way, I'll just go my way, and you know that's pretty much it. No, if I got a contract and there's a buyout there with that contract, you decide you don't want to play me for whatever reason, then I'm expecting, some windfall from not being able to play that game.
Yep.
Well, there was a school in our league in the last week and a half that there was a guarantee game that was canceled. $650,000 guarantee with Georgia, and I know that's gotten some play, from folks. What do you guys think about that? Just that game not being played, and I don't know all the particulars behind it, so there may have been a good reason for it. But when you have that situation, I don't know if there's a buyout or what. I don't know how that worked, how that went there, but you have some on one end say we need the money, and then now all of a sudden you got a chance to get some money, and now the money's not there, and so that's generated a lot of conversation. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's tough, and I'm like, a buyout needs to be in there. If the game is not being played, there needs to be a buyout in there. I know in basketball, when we do the non-conference game, when we did them, we had a clause in there that if the game didn't go off, it was too late to replace the opponent. We got compensated for it.
I mean, just like if we decided we weren't going to LSU.
Yep.
I'm sure LSU will have their hand out, for whatever partial guarantee or what have you, they could get in accordance with the contract. So I mean, it's got to be flipped the other way also. And so, if it was negotiated into the contract, then fine. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for a check. Might not be as much as it would have been, had we went on and played the game.
Yep.
But at the same time, it ain't gonna be zero. And if I'm scheduling out past 2030, like I said, you got to be leery of that from the jump. So I mean, it's it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other, but I'm with Coach Pettaway. Those games are going away.
Yep.
And if we think that they're not, we just really kind of kidding ourselves. So we're going to have to pony up and start paying these D2s more money because they're going to be wanting more money because they're going to, quote unquote, become the only game in town.
Well, when I talk with RAD about these type of games, of course, we're playing USM this year, and we've talked about the games going forward. He referencing, Will, I think you know this, being a former AD, any game that you schedule like this, you're going to talk with your football coach first.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to make sure.
Definitely. Oh, no doubt.
No
doubt about that.
Because I will play devil's advocate here a little bit, just both sides of it. What if your coach, if you're an AD and you got an offer for $600,000 to play or $700,000 to play in LSU, and you're the coach, and your coach says, no, I don't want to put my team through that. How deep of a conversation, how deep would you take that? Would you take the coach's word and try to move on, or would you be a strong convincer like, Coach, we really need to do this?
I'd listen to him, and we'd sit down, we'd have a heart to heart. And, if there's a way that I can get out of that, quote unquote, and replace those funds somehow, some way, then I would have a tendency to kind of try and listen to Coach. But if it's the other way around, Charles, and we've already spent that money spent, we got to suck it up, baby, and get this one.
You got to get that one in.
Maybe I'll try to take care of you on the flip side,
right?
In terms of moving forward. But, Coach, I need that money right now. This department needs that money right now. I'm sorry, you're the sacrificial lamb or what have you. I'll make it up to you on the flip side.
Right. I wonder, has there been a coach that has actually? I mean, I don't know, and we may never know. But I wonder, has there been a coach that has said, Mr. AD, Ms. AD, I understand that, but I don't want to put my team from a football standpoint. I'm saying
football. Yeah, because I know I'm better than basketball. I'm better than basketball.
But you know what? These coaches know when they come in the door what the deal is. So it's not like something that's just coming out of the clear blue. You know, we just throwing it at you all at once. There's a whole lot to decipher, that sort of thing. When you're in that interview process, and I've said this before, you know, those things come out in the interview process. If you got an issue with that, then I'm expecting you to tell me in the interview process so that I can decipher that and determine whether or not you're going to continue to be my guy before you come in the door.
Right. Now, Wheeler, mine was a little different in basketball. I already had a guarantee game on a Monday. Connecticut calls my athletic director and said, we got to have a game. I'm going to give you $100,000 and the airline tickets. To play on, listen, Wheeler, on Tuesday. I'm already playing on Monday, I'm out Midwest. I'm sorry, not Midwest. I think we were at Wichita State. Now they want me to leave Wichita State and play at Connecticut.
I wouldn't take that game, Coach. I would not, from an administrative point of view, I would not have taken that game.
And you probably wouldn't even approach me, but he did.
Yeah.
And I was like, Coach, I'm not doing my kids like that. I said, that would mean that we got to get off the plane and go straight to the arena. I said, no, we can't do that. But now you know who did it? Texas Southern turned right around and did the same thing to Courtney. The AT scheduled that game. Courtney was playing on Monday. They went out to Connecticut, got beat by 60. Because they got off the plane and played the game. They can't do that to those kids, man. And that was all about getting money. The money is not worth that, man. Nope.
So the last time I left you, as soon as I start talking about 800,000, boom. There's a computer.
No, Carlos, I think that's our internet because mine went out today. You remember, I sent the sign back in. You know who we with? We both had the same provider.
Well, I'm gonna have to get a little upgrade there.
Yeah.
Needless to say, they won't be sponsoring the show, right?
Well, you were talking about Southern and LSU in football, and you thought there should be some more money on the table.
Yeah, and then I heard y'all laughing about it. Yeah, 850,000 would be just so nice, an extra 100, because the last time they played, and I think it was Will and Coach Petaway said going across town. Yeah, well, you have to pay for the police escort. Because when I tell you the crowd getting in there, that's the only way you can get in there. And the last time it was what, 700,000, then 50,000 to Southern University's foundation, so it ended up being 750. It's called inflation.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tack on. Now look, if it stayed the same, that's fine. But Coach Petaway, I'm trying to get every nickel and dime.
I know, but you better get it now because you get the game. These are going away now in football because the Power Fours are telling them if you want to be part of the playoff, you don't need to play FCS. They want you to play all FBS opponents, and once they pass it, it's over with for us.
And I look, so LSU's playing Northwestern State at FCS, the opener season, right? This won't be week 0, but it'll be what, second week, third week in September. And just kind of looking at some of the comments on social media, quite a few of them said, I would say at least 60% said, might as well keep the money in the state.
Right.
Because in the past, they played Western Illinois and Western Carolina, and they brought them in.
Yeah.
And so the first time they played was from a historical standpoint. Now it's the second time playing. Will there be another game in the future? We don't know. But you remember the associate AD came on over a year ago and talked about some of the things that they were trying to do, like as far as Southern playing ULL and Tulane. LSU's playing Tulane. That's the first time it's happened in a good while. So yeah, those games may go away. I understand it. But if you're going to get some money, if you're going to play these type of games, get as much as you can. Also, while I was having technical issues, The Board of Supervisors met yesterday, and Roger Cador now will have the field.
Oh, wow.
Named after him. So I guess Lehigh Stadium at Roger Cador Field. So that's outstanding.
I was going to mention that in the closing comment.
Well deserved.
I'm going to close it out with that. That is a job well done and obvious right decision to be made considering. So I'm congratulations to the board for making that call. It was the right call, the appropriate call, no doubt about it.
And I think last week, Coach Pettaway, you were out last week.
Yeah.
The FG Clark Activity Center scoreboard, it's down. A new 800,000 was coming. That's coming up. There'll be something else coming up. They got to dot the I's and cross the T's. But it'll be something along those lines for another sport. So it's certain things you just got to do. You know, locker room renovations, NIL, money, and all of this to say a winning record in football this year will go a long way. 2-10, never again. That's the battle cry.
Carlos, I got to share something with you guys. This happened at Media Day. I'm doing my interviews, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye, there's a guy standing off to the side. In between coaches, I said, we'll take a break. We got another coach coming. Guy comes up to me. He says he watches the show. He said, I enjoy the show. He said, I saw the predictions. He said, I can kind of see Alcorn. I kind of sort of, But then he said, Carlos's prediction for Southern to finish second in the West. What has Carlos been drinking? Whatever Carlos, whatever moonshine he's been drinking, whatever narcotic he's on, I want some of it because that's pretty strong stuff. But no, I don't know who he was. I didn't recognize him, but he was just talking about the predictions. Obviously, it's been out there. So,
somebody, that was that alumni juice. That was that alumni juice.
Nah, that was probably something. You sure it wasn't EA that snuck in there?
I don't think I've seen EA, Carlos. I don't think I've seen him.
No, I want to say, and I could be wrong. Cedric Walker, was he? I thought he was at Media Day. If Cedric is watching. I thought that was him, but no, it wasn't no joy juice. It wasn't, Charles was probably somebody from the Eastern Division. It was a fan. I'm telling
you. You recognize obviously the folks that you recognize, but he was patiently waiting, took a break, and he talked. He watches his show, and he saw the predictions. The predictions are what they are. We talking about it now. That's all behind us, and now you got to get it done on the field. I mean, I think that's kind of where it is right now. We love it, we enjoy it, we hate it. I know some people are mad at where some teams are picked. If I'm Marshall Faulk, I'm using that 5th place, prediction as fuel. Because for me as a SWAC fan, I never thought that I would see that Southern football being picked to finish 5th in the division. I just never would see that. So hopefully it'll be used, and we'll see what happens.
Look, I'm looking at Wheeler. Me and Wheeler kind of alike. I mean, in a way, nothing shocks me anymore. Like I said earlier, it's more about the conversation piece. It has done what it's doing right now. People are talking about it, agreeing and disagreeing. But by the end of September, 1st of October, you want to put it that way, we'll kind of get a good feeling, a good grasp of what's going on.
It's Craig Pierre, Charles. I mean Carlos. Craig Pierre's the one. I didn't.
He was there. Craig was there.
Wait a minute. Is that Craig Pierre was the one that said that?
Yeah. Craig.
He was dressed nice, wasn't he?
He's throwing me under the bus. I didn't know that was Craig Pierre.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna write him out of my will. What is that? He's a Southernite. Come on, Craig. Yeah, Craig Pierre was there, a member of the Blue and Gold Club. But it was like I said, it was a great event.
Over 300 credentials, according to the commissioner. I've interviewed him briefly. It was over 300 credential requests. Yeah. You know what? And I don't know if it's. We talked about it early on. I don't know if it should be a 2-day event, but it's so many. There's so many rooms. So many people want to talk to these players and coaches. You got a short window, and I think the conference did everything they could to try to move people around. But I'm just wondering, because it's growing so fast and time, you don't have a lot of time. Is it time for maybe a 2-day event, maybe the East one day and the West one day? And I think you can get a lot done. I mean, I don't know, but it's just something I've thought about the last several years.
I guess it's something you put out. Also, some people are talking about maybe a morning session and an afternoon session, because I don't think you can please everybody all the time, Willer. Because if you go to a 2-day session, some are going to be ready to go, because usually it's a lot of energy. Then around about lunchtime, Coach, I don't know if it started kind of getting a little quiet. And, I get it. They're getting asked a lot of questions. Sometimes it's the same question over and over, but it's part of the process. And I'll tell you something else. I got a chance to, it was me and Dr. Cavill. And for the first time, remember I talked about this guy, he's a director of athletics, but he shakes my hand and he's gone. I have a newfound, I always had respect, but I got a chance to interview a session, Ashley Robertson.
Yeah.
And he talked about the economic impact of Jackson. And Wheeler, when you were the AD at Jackson State, and this is the point I want to impress, I asked him a question: what is the economic impact? Because Jackson stands alone.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody else. The media covers Ole Miss and Jackson, but like Southern's in Baton Rouge, you got LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about the impact, and he also talked about the relationship with Southern. In football, they're going to play regardless, whether it counts or not. And he said him and A.D. Banks got on the phone right away and talked about it. So it's also about building relationships. So newfound respect for Asher. Not that I didn't have it for him, but Coach, he's a former player, former athlete. Also, listening to him, he's got a good business mind. And most ADs, again, Will, I respect what y'all guys do. You don't have an easy job.
No, it ain't easy.
You don't have an easy job.
No,
I
it
respect
ain't easy.
the coaches, the same thing. They don't have an easy job. But what I gather, they love doing what they're doing. A coach loves doing what he's doing. And an administrator. So it was a nice segment to get a chance to know him. In other words, it's always passing, a shaking hand, quick. How you doing? Boom, bye.
One thing I like about him, Carlos, is the passion is there. I mean, he was the AD at Prairie View, and when he was there, the passion that he had for Prairie View when he was there, and the passion that he has, for Jackson State. Making that big hire and that big swing of the bat with hiring Coach Sanders, which worked. And, people talked about that. People probably still will push back on it, but I thought it was a hell of a roll of the dice and it worked out for him, And now Trey Johnson, the basketball coach, and Kendrick Perkins, the general manager of Jackson State basketball. He's just doing some things that are kind of thinking outside the box. You hear that now. We got to think outside the box. And I think Ashley Robinson, him and I, we have a great relationship. I remember calling his games when he was at Valley running the point. I think that to transition, and let me take that back. 3 schools. He was the AD at Mississippi Valley as well. So, for him to do it for 3 different schools, to have that type of positive thing going, I think you have to tip your cap off to him. He's passionate, wants his team to win. He hates it when they lose. And so, you have to respect that.
But you know what, Charles? That started when he was a player. As a player, as a point guard for Mississippi Valley, Ashley was always that way. He played hard, very cerebral on the floor. He willed them to some wins. Now he used to give us fits. Now he used to give me fits out there on that floor. But and then he's turned that same passion into being an administrator. And I just think it's good. It's good to see young up and coming people taking the mantle now.
It's two things for me that, and I've told Ashley this at the softball tournament. It's two things for me that, and he's done a wonderful job at Jackson State. If he does these two things for me, he can walk away tomorrow. His men's basketball team winning a championship, being a former men's player, he wants to hoist that trophy. And then being handed a hard hat and a shovel, stick it in the ground and say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the new home of Jackson State football. Because that's been talked about as well. If he does those two things, what else can he do? I mean, I know that the stadium thing is a lot of layers to that. I hope they get it. I hope they get their own stadium. They need it. They deserve it. Whether you like Jackson State athletics or not, they need to have their own stadium. I think we could all agree to that.
Yeah, they do. They do. They, and that was a big push for me, to try to get something on campus. Yeah. And we all know, you guys know, there's nothing like football Saturday on campus.
Yes.
And just having it down at, War Memorial or what have you, I mean, it kind of is what it is, and you got to deal with it, that sort of thing. But it just doesn't have the same flavor, as a football game, a home football game on campus. And so many other benefits to being on campus, that they're not able to, take advantage of by being down at Memorial Stadium. So, I can tell you some stories in terms of offers that supposedly were made in terms of selling the stadium and where the stadium would have went on campus and, all that sort of thing. But, it's not a venture that Jackson State can take on by itself.
Correct.
It's just too much. And until the city or the state or whomever else kind of antes up and kicks in, they're going to pretty much have to be satisfied with the status quo.
Yeah. It's political. There's politics involved.
Oh, yeah. Left and right. Left and right.
Hines County, Rankin County. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces to make it happen. But the point is, for me, I hope it happens. I've been told that they have the land already, but they have to get it financed to get it built. I mean, so it's one of those things. We'll see. I hope it happens. As a fan of the SWAC, you want to see that. As you mentioned, it's nothing like being on campus and keeping that money. And Jackson gets to keep that. I mean, but still, you would like to have it on campus. Easier said than done, but I hope it happens.
Well, with inflation and with the cost of everything now, boy, it'd been nice to get it in 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm sure the cost will be dramatic right now. And I was talking to some Texas Southern people. They would like to have a stadium on their campus.
Did I read somewhere that as part of their big university improvement that they're going to do something with their on-campus stadium? Did I read that correctly? Could somebody help me with that?
Well, I thought
part of the plan.
Master plan to get one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess you would have to look at refurbishing, remodeling what they have compared to a new one. What's the cost? The difference between the two. I know I read they have a master plan. Not only just the stadium, other things on the campus. I've seen Southern University's master plan. Oh, it's magnificent, beautiful, but it comes with a price tag and time.
Yeah,
it comes time. So
I think Texas Southern, I know a long time ago, Alcorn played a game on Texas Southern's campus. I believe it was their homecoming, and it was packed. I mean, it was wall-to-wall people. I think Texas Southern has made an effort to play at least one game on campus a year, maybe their homecoming against a non-D1 or something like that. But, what's going on with where they're playing now, I mean, I hope they get that resolved because I think people want to know that. And in the future, I would like to see them get back on campus as well.
Yeah, eventually, You always got to do some improving. Coach Pettaway, right turn here. After SWAC Media Day, before then, got a chance to fly in and out of Miami. I'm just getting I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. But now, all of a sudden, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. LeBron in Miami, round 2. Wait a minute. Pat Riley, come on. But you know what? Coach Pettaway, I saw him. Man, he looks in good shape for 81. He said, I don't know what other pieces they're going to add, but I guess it keeps the summer from being boring. What do you think?
They got to have shooters. If they don't find some shooters, that combination of Bam and Giannis is not going to work because people ain't going to do nothing but build a wall, man, and keep them from driving the basketball because they don't have anybody to kick to. They got to have shooters so they can open the floor up. Each one of those guys one-on-one, they can handle their guy. But if you don't have a shooter for them to pass off when there's a double team, it's going to be useless, man.
They need shooters, plural.
Right, that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. They got to have shooting. They got to go out and get them two wing people that can score the basketball from deep.
It'll be interesting to still monitor.
I'm going to be honest now. I think you're better off not having LeBron.
I'm not counting on it.
He's ball dominant. Giannis wants the ball in his hands to attack from the top and from the wing. Bam is getting to the point now where he wants the ball. And so, and LeBron, he's always wanted the ball in his hand.
Because you can alternate because the last couple of years, Bam brings up. He's almost like a point forward,
right?
Not all the time, but sometimes he brings it up a lot of the times.
I think Carlos for LeBron, and right now LeBron is holding the league hostage. The commissioner said that hurry up and make a decision so they can put a massive TV thing together so he can be maxed out on TV however many times. I think personally, just me as a basketball fan, I think there's only 2 places where LeBron fits: Golden State and Miami. Now,
what?
Golden State. I can't see him in Philadelphia. Even though some people say that Philadelphia might have a better shot. I will say Miami second. I think if you put him on Golden State's team with Curry and Draymond Green, that veteran leadership, I think that would work. I think LeBron has to realize he's no longer the piece, but a piece in the puzzle. He was once the piece. He's not that anymore. And so I think he wants to kind of nudge us to being the piece, but that's not going to happen. I'm just wondering, Carlos, have LeBron and Pat Riley kissed and made up? If his name's being mentioned coming back to Miami, has there been some mending of the fences? Because Pat Riley was really ticked off when he left the first time. So I'm wondering, has there been some coddling to get him back? I don't know. But I would like to see him at Golden State with Draymond and Steph. I like to see that. Now that's an old team. Now that's a really old team.
Hey, the only place I can see LeBron is Akron.
You know what, Wheeler? The reason, this is my own personal opinion about Cleveland. I mean, that's the obvious one, but this is non-basketball.
I ain't talking about Cleveland, Charles. I'm talking about Akron. I'm talking about going to the house.
Oh no!
In other words, you say it's time to retire. Huh?
It's time. No, he's not ready to retire. He's not ready. He wants another bite at the apple. I get it. And so where does he fit? And I think he controls the narrative because he's saying he's going to take less money. He's going to take maybe the veterans minimum or a little more. So that gives him more leverage because a bunch of teams can pay him that. So where is he going? You know? Okay, we've had conversations. They were very good. Boy,
look at that. Pat Riley still what a dresser. Unbelievable. When I grew up,
they have
dressed like that.
Mending of the fences. So I could see that. I could see him in Miami. But I think the Cleveland thing, it's obvious to me. But I think if he goes back to Cleveland, everybody in Cleveland's going to say, when is the retirement tour going to start? This is it. And I think LeBron's not ready to quite say this is it quite yet. I think he feels like he's still got a lot left. He can offer a team an opportunity to hoist a championship, whether it's Miami, whether it's Golden State. I think Cleveland's obvious. But I think in Cleveland, people are going to try to push him out the door more so than, Oakland or Miami. Miami, the Heat, the culture is the culture. You ain't going to change the cultures. I think LeBron probably realizes that. You got Bam there. You got Giannis there. I can see that big three in a way.
Did you see? I think I sent y'all the clip where he visited the locker room for the first time. Now, Giannis has won a championship, but boy, he was mesmerized. Did you see that, Coach Pettaway, when he came in?
Yep.
Sometimes a nice piece of humble pie is always good.
Yeah,
a nice piece.
Is he healthy? How healthy you think Giannis is right now?
He looks. He looked very good on that film.
Yeah,
and he's been working out. I agree with Coach Pettaway. You got to get some shooters around him. You got to get some more pieces. I think Pat is not through yet.
Oh, yeah.
Even if they don't get LeBron, they know what they need.
Yeah.
I trust him that he'll get it. He'll get it. Now, for everybody to say, oh, they're top 3 or top 4, I'll leave that to the prognosticators. Where they're going to be at. I'm thinking, just my humble opinion, I think next year, year 2 of this experiment, is the one where I will have a critical eye and looking to see how much progress. Because next summer, Coach Pettaway, Miami still has a lot of cap. They'll have more cap money next summer. You hear about the Klay Thomas coming in as a shooter. I know they're all in their 30s, in their mid-30s. Hell, I didn't know Tim Hardaway was 35, Coach Pettaway. He didn't let me know that.
Right.
Yep. Goodness, time flies.
Yep.
So,
but I just think now, Charles, I do like Bron going to Golden State, but at Miami, with Bron on that team, you still got to have shooters, man. He got to be able to have somebody he can pass the ball off to that can knock down shots. And I just don't see the way the roster is currently constructed.
So even though there's a post, we have shooters. It's not enough shooting right now. You don't have enough shooters right now.
To me, those not proven shooters. Look, those guys that were on the screen, they weren't primary gunners. Now they were coming off. Those were bench people. Look at it.
And
Bobby Portis is a secret. Yeah. Bobby Portis is the only one that has proven that he can put the shots down. And you got to think about it now. His last 2 years in Milwaukee, his last year in Milwaukee, he wasn't shooting that well. Yeah, you're glad you in here, Roy. Come on in here with it. So you thought you already got
Coach, these are statistics from last season. These are their shooting percentages. Hardaway was a starter where he was at. Andrew Wiggins was a key player for us. Davion Mitchell was a key player for us. The white dude is the one that they actually brought in to shoot this year. We got 4 cats that's on the roster that shoot over 40%.
And out of that,
and they not. Coach, hold up. And if Bron comes, 2 of them ain't starting, so they in the second team.
Yeah,
we got shooters.
Hardaway won't start. Portis won't start. I don't believe. No.
Now Hardaway
Wiggins will start.
He can create his own shot.
Well, no. Now see, okay. So, Coach, that's what we need. We need somebody who can create their own shot, in my opinion.
Right.
We have shooters. We don't have a number 1 scorer against somebody who can be like, as you said, that your boy used to be, that Ashley used to be against y'all. We need somebody when you put the ball in their hand and we say, when something break down, get it.
Right.
Yep. That's why I'm looking at people like, I don't care what nobody say. I want Russell Westbrook in Miami. I've wanted Russell for years in Miami because I think the Miami Heat culture would be great for him. And then I say, we looking at because they talk about DeMar DeRozan too, but I think most of these folks are people if we don't get LeBron. And I don't think it now. Him going to Cleveland is going to be horrible. James Harden, he will not work on the team with James Harden. That James Harden is too much. He is probably the only ball hog in the NBA who is not reliable. And I mean, he's horrible with it. But I think that's
time to send James Harden on his way. James Harden has stolen money everywhere he's been, and so it's time to move on from. I mean, he was willing to take a pay cut. He was willing to take a pay cut, opt out, take a pay cut, so to bring in LeBron, perhaps to make room for LeBron. But James Harden, to me, come postseason, I haven't seen it yet.
Exactly, Charles. I'm right there with you. Him in the postseason is just a ridiculous thing. But I really hope that we can find a way to get Russell Westbrook, because he's a great point guard, but he's also a point guard that will get his own shot when he needs to. I mean, so this is the cat people don't talk about enough, that this cat is almost the second person to do only what Oscar Robinson doing, and is close to averaging a triple-double their entire career.
Yep.
I'm like,
one of my
Westbrook has been
players.
a great
Yeah,
Oscar
Robinson.
I think the Miami he would be great in the Miami Heat culture. And I think, and look, on that team with Westbrook, I give Westbrook another 3 productive years. Like Davion Mitchell could sit behind one who will be an automatic Hall of Famer and an all-time great if we were to get Russell Westbrook.
Could Miami afford to get Russ?
Didn't Bron have Russ in Los Angeles?
But they used him wrong.
Weren't the teammates?
But see here, listen, I'm going to tell you the same thing I said about it the last time, because we talk about what could LeBron do everywhere else he went that he couldn't do in Miami. Coach the damn team, because we paying somebody for that. That Pat Riley handpicked. So you're not going to tell the coach in Miami what you want to do with the players around you versus what they see is best. And that's what LeBron has been able to do everywhere else he's gone instead of Miami.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, I thought he and Russ have already had that opportunity to play together, and it didn't work.
But again, I think it was because of the coaching. That's my point. And I think they actually have said that they don't want both. That one of them doesn't want to play with. I don't think Russell wants to be on the team with LeBron anymore.
That's what I thought.
As far as LeBron, I'm like, I will take him or leave him, because I think, LeBron's going to be a great player for the next couple of years again, just because he is that talent. But I mean, with like I said, DeMar DeRozan, Bradley Beal, to me, the Bradley Beal is the last person I would take. But with him, Russell Westbrook that's out there, Klay Thompson, I'll take all of them before I would want LeBron, because I think they have a little bit more left in the tank than LeBron does overall. But I wouldn't be mad if LeBron came back.
I do think LeBron at this point in his career, he wants another ring. He wants some structure. And because he can take the vet minimum, he can have a little more leverage and try to see what team is out there that can give him the best chance to try to hoist another trophy. And so I think that's what's holding him up. I mean, some people say he's already made the decision. Some people say
the drama's holding him up. He don't. Hey, listen, y'all just said it. I'm sorry, because I don't get it. Y'all talk about the Heat though. I'm a day one fan. I lived 2 blocks from the original Miami arena and all that good stuff. Worked at the arena and everything. So I've been there since Ron Cycling and Glenn Rice. Now look, they don't have the Warriors. Like y'all said, they're old. When they let Klay go, to me they broke up what they were their real championship chances, because they have put in the mindset that if you're going to let go one of the 3 key pieces of your franchise's championship run, you don't really care about these players. People ain't going to do that. And all these people talk about Philadelphia. First off, Chuck, what's happening, man? Nice to see you too. Philly, Joel Embiid can't stay healthy during no time. He ain't going to be no help. So you might as well forget that. Cleveland, like I said, Cleveland just doesn't fit, because there's too many ball hogs there. And I personally think that's a shame for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, yeah. I think that's a shame for him, because that's who I actually wanted the Heat to go after as a long-term guy.
But the Cleveland has gotten a reputation now by the national prognosticators as being soft. You know, the way they went. It's no shame in losing to the Knicks, but the way they lost. Yeah. Feel it. Go Golden State, Miami. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think Pat Riley's through yet.
No,
none of those are real. Miami's the only realistic choice when you look at it. Because, like I said, if you look at where the teams are, because answer this one question about the Golden State Warriors. If you put him on that team, does that make him better than San Antonio? And who are the other two teams that would be in front of them?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't make them better than them. They putting LeBron on that team, it's going to be the same thing like he was on the Lakers. I mean, the only difference is you got Clay. I mean, not Clay. You got Steph Curry shooting. But what else do they have?
I think you're right. In order to get to the finals, the easiest way would be through the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, he's got to come into the East.
Yeah. Going to the West is too strong at the top because San Antonio and Oklahoma are going to be there. And then depending on what the Timberwolves do, they might still be there.
Yeah.
Now I will say the East has gotten a little bit stronger. You know, with the shifts and the moves, the Knicks. You know, the only thing they got going against them, the owner was like, "I'm not going over the second apron. I don't want to go over the first apron." So
you trade your backup center.
Yeah, and they just won a title. So, yeah. The other team that's a mystery is Boston. Boy.
Oh, they ain't no mystery. They're going to be horrible this season.
Coach Pettaway, when they got rid of Brown, my goodness.
Yep.
I still
he
don't
was the
see
heart and
that
soul
one.
of that team. That was the heart of their team, and they completely gutted that. They are not. Boston ain't going to be nowhere near what they were this last season.
Even though Brad Stevens and the owner had their press conference, I think folks in Boston aren't buying what that press conference was about. And as a basketball fan, I'm not either. But I do think that you're going to have to look at in the NBA now because of the second apron and all of that. I think these players are taking less money. I think that's now being a topic of conversation. Wemby taking less money.
Wemby didn't take less money. He signed the Supermax.
Yeah,
well, he left on the table, but he
left money on the table.
Yeah, he left the money on the money on the table.
All I heard was he took the Supermax.
No, he left the money.
He took the max, not the super.
Yeah.
See, he left money. He did just like Brunson. He left money on the table.
And I think players are now coming out and saying that we got to do something about this. I mean, the Knicks won the championship. And because Dolan doesn't want to jump in the second apron, he gets rid of Robinson. And I think every team's going to have to deal with this. Is this good for the NBA in terms of competitive balance? Is this what this is about? Because now it's coming out as louder, more so than ever. Teams got to make some tough choices, some tough decisions. It's always been that way, but it's getting a little more conversation. I'm just wondering, is this good for the NBA down the road?
Wait a minute. Wemby. What years is he going into, Roy? This upcoming season, what will it be? Year what?
Third year. Third year.
It'll be his third year.
Well, you know, he got what he was eligible to get because, you know, in the NBA, the rookies, they kind of I don't want to say cap, but the next contract Wemby get is the one going to be a super max. I don't think he was eligible for one right now. So
But he didn't even take what he was eligible for now. He did not take all of the money. He left money on the table. He said so that they could continue to add people.
Yeah, but I don't think everybody's going to do that. Now Brunson did it, but now Big Cat, will he do it?
No. I don't think he will.
So I don't think everybody. I don't know, man. Some of these players are not going to give up a whole lot of money. Now,
the Players Association, they're already complaining about it. They're saying something has to be done because they didn't negotiate the contract for the players to get more money for them to be leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
It's going against what they fought for.
Right. And so, right, I think the optimum word in this offseason, and I think you're going to hear this going forward, is flexibility. With Jaylen Brown being traded, flexibility. You get a bag of rocks in return in Paul George, which I disagree with. But the word flexibility, in this NBA landscape, you want to have flexibility. And with these salaries and the way it's working now, how much flexibility do you really have? You want more.
Man, them owners making money. Don't kid yourself.
They are.
They are making money.
But they don't want to pay the players all that money. Yeah, they're making money, sure.
Yeah,
if there's a lot in the NBA right now, the players aren't going to get paid. But you know who's going to get paid? The owners. The owners are going to still get that money whether there's a lockout or not.
Well, go back in a little history. About 5-6 years ago, the last collective bargaining agreement, the players were at 51%, owners were at 49%. Ever since then, the owners like that'll never happen again. Boston, OKC is at that point. It's gonna be other teams. It's gonna be other teams. But the owners, they are paying these people up front. It's not like well, they're giving them money. No, they're earning it.
They're earning it. They are. But the question is, these players feel like they deserve more, and will the owners back down and give them more? Will the small market owners break down? Like Dolan not wanting to go into the second apron, which limits flexibility, was telling to me. You win the NBA championship, and I would be an owner like I want to run this back. I want to do it all over again with what I got. He couldn't, or no, he couldn't. He didn't want to.
He wouldn't.
He didn't want
to. You say that, Charles. But if you're on the other side of the fence,
I get it.
It's like insurance company, Coach Pettaway. You're a loyal customer. You've never filed a claim.
First time.
You've been there 10, 20 years. You file one claim, guess what happens?
Your insurance goes up.
Your rates go up.
Especially if you're an older type of owner, and you got one foot out the door anyway. You want to take as many dollars with you as you possibly can.
That's right. He ain't trying to lose no money. The owners.
No.
Now, somebody had to point out to me.
That's what that tax is.
Miami Heat owner, Mickey Harrison. I never saw him. He was behind the scene. I never knew what he looked like. I know. What's the guy at the Cowboys?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Yeah.
Well, he's all out front. I'm like Mickey Harrison. I'm behind the scenes. I'm like Charlie's Angel. Have you ever saw who he was? All you saw was that voice, and the chair was turned this way. All you saw was the back. You're not gonna know who I am.
Well, I think Carlos. I think they actually just named Mickey Harrison the head of like the owners commission or something like that.
So,
yeah.
I just gave him a kiss of death then. But it'll be interesting to see how all of it works out, because the style of play. Oh, Roy, they talking about expansion, and some people are saying Seattle and Vegas. Coach Pettaway, some people say it's going to water down the league. They don't have enough good players.
Right.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah. And Seattle deserves a franchise. They've proven that they support basketball. Yeah.
But you're not shocked by Vegas. Not shocked at all.
Yeah. Once they made gambling legalized, that you knew they were going to get into Vegas.
Yeah.
And speaking of Vegas, Roy, we were interviewing Ashley. He was talking about the impact that Jackson State had on Vegas. Now, according to my little birdie, they have contacted Southern University, but I don't know if that's going to work out, getting Southern in Vegas. But the Birmingham Classic, people were talking in the chat room in hour number 1. Some people say Southern and Jackson next year in the Birmingham Classic.
Wow.
Would it be Alabama, A&M, and Southern? They hadn't played in a couple of years.
Right.
So the answer is somebody from Alabama always in the Classic? Not necessarily. But what do you think, Panna? Is it going to always be somebody from Alabama?
I think they'll spread it around, like Wheeler said. They'll spread it around.
I think Well, obviously, I think the game, whatever guarantees coming out of that game, I mean, you have to weigh out your decisions. If you give up a home game, someone's going to give up one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the financials in terms of what you would make at home versus what you're getting for that classic. So I think that has, just like us playing UAPB in Memphis, giving up our home game, and UAPB gave up theirs last year. The money that we're getting from Memphis compared to what we would make at home playing that game, you know, you have to weigh all that out. Jackson and Southern in Vegas, compare that, the attendance at Mumford or the Vet versus what you would be getting. You know, I'm sure both ADs went. Jackson State obviously thought it was a good idea to take Grambling to Vegas. Would Roman Banks give up a home game to go to Vegas if that's Southern's home game? That's something you got to weigh out.
For the right price, as
It'd have to be over 700.
Nah, you're
it'd
talking
have to be over well over 700. I think we played in Vegas when I was at Jackson State, and I think the guarantee was like 600,000. And but hell, by the time you got the band there and all that sort of thing and everything that goes with that, if I brought home 200,000, I'm stretching it probably by about 50 or 60,000. Yeah, so that's not an easy trip by no means. Yeah, especially if you're taking a 250-piece band or close to 300 person band. And you got a charter. You can't fly commercial with football, and you can't fly commercial with the band. So you're paying out the yin yang. Ain't no doubt about that.
Well, that's gonna do it for today's show. We will see SWAC football predictions. We're in Alabama State and preview. If the prognosticators are right, they'll be in the SWAC football championship game with the winner going to the Celebration Bowl. Now, next week, there was some announcement about contracts, extended contracts with SWAC, MEAC. Now, I know M comes before S, but I like to say SWAC MEAC Challenge. In the Celebration Bowl, Mr. Grant made an announcement on that. We can get into that next week.
Carlos, I got one quick question for you. I don't know, Roy, if you got the picture or not. There's a picture out there, Carlos Brown and Marshall Falk. Nice picture. Carlos had something in his hand. I'm wondering, is that an amended copy of the Carlos Brown contract?
An amended copy.
Yeah.
You know it. You know it. And speaking of that, by the way, he's got all the information.
Yeah.
If it wasn't today, let's see. Let the countdown begin. Next Saturday is the last Saturday before camp starts.
Yeah.
He has the information.
Okay.
As soon as I got to Birmingham, they came up to me and said he's coming on.
Okay.
It's got to be next Saturday. Like I said, after that, that's it. Fall camp starts.
I was hoping today. I thought we might come on today. I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, I wanted him to be on today. Because next Saturday, I'll be on the Gulf, red snapper fishing.
Redfish?
Coach, I need you. Coach, I need you to get one of them for me. I put an order in. I had you ship that fresh snapper to me.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know in Alabama if it's that way, but in Louisiana, it's only a certain season you could catch
right.
it.
And that's why I got to go. Yeah, that's why I got to go. That's why I got to go Saturday. Yeah.
Well, Coach Petaway, send mine fried.
I'll slice that sucker in half, season it with the Louisiana season.
Yes, sir.
And oh man, good old redfish and trout. I love both of them. I want to thank Roy for chiming in, producing today's show in the chat room. Continue the conversation. Wow, Southern and Tennessee State, Southern and PV in Vegas. Great show as usual. Peace. Thanks to everybody. Good seeing you, G Boom. Everybody take care. We'll see you next Saturday at 11 a.m. I see that. Oh, Roy can hear pretty good. I was talking about the orange and green in Birmingham, and I didn't think he was listening. He was working on equipment, and he heard everything we said. Somebody took a shot down.
That's right. That's right. Listen, as coach, I'm gonna say this as coach said, we can still be number one. Just ain't going to the postseason. It's our place to make it happen. Let's cause some chaos in the polls, baby.
Yeah.
Go Rattlers.
Hey, he is really confident. He says their season can still be outstanding.
And that's how
I won't even call him a spoiler.
There has been one team in this league that was ineligible for the postseason that won the regular season. It has been done before.
Well, and you know, that's true. And you know, I also said, will it be 4 years in a row that the first year coach in the Western Division win the division? I don't think about year 2. Don't think about the third year. No such thing. But can it be 4 years in a row?
The string ends.
If that happens, then you know who wins in his first year. I'm not gonna say it, but that's fair. Could it be? We shall see. Peace and God bless everyone.
All right, man.